Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's class. I want to believe we have followed up with our previous topics in this the theory and rudiments of music. In today's lesson, we are going to be looking at the musical notes, rests, and their respective values. So these are the various notes we have. But before I go on, take note that there are two types of notes. We call this one round notes. After I'm done explaining this, I'm going to go to what we have as shaped notes, which are very common in our contemporary time. But let me explain it, because the knowledge of this will also guide us in understanding the shaped notes. The only difference between here and the shaped notes is just the shapes. All the principle here applies. So let's look at the round notes. So these are the notes, they are symbols, which you have to master very well. The rests applicable to them, the name, they have two names, the British name, the American name, and then the value or the beats. Now the American name is in relation to time. By the time we get to time signature, you are going to understand the application of this American name. But for now, we're going to be sticking to this as a name for these symbols. Now let's look at one by one. This is the first note. Remember, notes is a period of, rest is a period of silence in music. That means whenever you see any of these symbols, it means you should rest. And what's the meaning of rest? Just keep quiet. Good. The first note is what we call breathe. This is the symbol of breathe. And the value is 8. So that means if you see this note, you have to count 8 beats. For example, now, let's say this note represents a do. You count this. Once you see this note, you pronounce whatever sofa or whatever it stands for 8 beats. For example, now, do for 8 beats. That's what this means. And if you see this rest, that means you should rest for 8 beats. The following one is called a semi-breve. And this is the rest symbol. It has 4 beats. This is called a minim, and this is the equivalent rest value, and it has 2 beats. We have crotchets, which has 1 beat, and these are the respective rest symbols. So these are the notes. These are their respective rests. Rest for each of the notes, because they carry the same value, and then these are their respective value. So this is the name. We have 2 names, the British name and then the American name. The American name is in relation to time signature. So you're going to get a clearer picture of this name when we get to time signature. So for now, that is about the notes we have in music. We go to what we refer to as the shaped notes. Shaped notes. Shaped note was developed in the 18th century to make the reading of music easy for students. So, and shaped note is simply representing a cipher with a shape. What do I mean by that? Basically, we have 8 ciphers that we use. Ciphers are symbols that are used to represent sound in music. For example, if I make a sound, oh, I can represent it with a cipher. So ciphers are what we use to represent sound in music. Good. So we have 8 of them. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So shaped note was developed such that when you see a symbol, you know it stands for do. Once you see a symbol, it stands for re. So these are what we call shaped notes. And the symbol for do is this. A triangle. Then for re we have a circle divided into 2. Then a mi we have a kite. Fa we have a right angle triangle. which could either be facing this way or facing this way. This is your fa, then your saw is oval in shape, your la is rectangle, your T is inverted do. That's the triangle that is facing downwards. So these are the shape notes that we have. Remember, they are used to represent sulfurs. In this type of notes, you cannot, this one could stand for any sulfur, but here the difference between this and this is that this has to be looked out for. For example, now if you see such a note as this, it doesn't stand for anything. You have to look at your line and spaces, the key signature, before you know what any of these notes can stand for. But with this, you don't need to know what key, what line or space it's written on once you understand the shape. So that's the difference between the shape notes and what we call round notes. But the knowledge of this still applies to this, in the sense that, look at this now. This is a semi-breve. It's round, it's not shaded. Remember, the value of this is 4. Good. So if you see a shape note like this, this is 4 bit because it's not shaded. But let's see another shape note that is shaded, maybe with a stem. See, it corresponds with this. It's shaded and it has a stem. What's the value of this? 1 bit. That means this is a do quite alright by the reason of its shape, but how many bits does it carry? So you have to correspond the value it carries with the symbol, with how it is being drawn, like the round notes. Let's take another example. Let's say this is another do here, but like this. So it corresponds. You know that this is a quaver note, which has half beat. Though it is still a shape note, but the value, for you to get the value of a shape note, it has to still correspond with how the round notes are drawn or shaped too. So see, this corresponds with this. Now let's assume I draw another one here. This is a do, quite alright. It corresponds with this. This is a meaning. So you know this is a do, quite alright, but it has 2 bits. So that's how, and it applies to each of the round shape notes. That's why the knowledge of round notes will help you in getting the shape notes. So these are the 2 kinds of notes we have in music. But mind you, the rest, they are not shaped. This is the shape of the rest. No special rest for shape notes. So thank you. So with this, we come to the end of today's class. Please ensure you follow up from the beginning of the class. Any lessons you have missed, kindly go back to them. Any questions you have, please drop them in the comment section. Thank you very much. See you in the next class.
It's so easy to forget the victories of the past and focus on the trials of the moment.